Good morning, everyone. It's 7 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m. It's a New Year's weekend. Tommy Gullett, your morning mayor in the house. HampshireTop and blinking on and off in Kamloops, Canada.
Well, I'm trying to make it work. I'll try again.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, pay your bill. Pay your Wi-Fi bill.
It's my computer.
Well, yeah.
I'm on my last leg.
Well, Santa needs to bring you a new one for Christmas. So.
I missed that flag.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed, the winter solstice on the 21st of December.
Yep.
Yeah, shortest day of the year.
Days are getting longer.
Now they're getting longer.
Yeah.
Which means I have to talk to you longer.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's New Year's weekend, Shane. 2024 right around the corner. I guess it's still 2021 in Canada because you're on metric time.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited about this. I don't know if you heard this, Shane, but tomorrow, is 1-2-3-1-2-3. It's 12/31. Right. 23. So it'll be 1-2-3-1-2-3. Another one of those trivia things you got to know if you're going to be on the radio for any length of time. So happy to have that. So, well, it's been quite
a lifetime.
Yeah. Well, it's been quite a year, 8,760 hours in a year, 525,600 minutes in a year. 52 weekends, 52 Saturdays, 53 Sundays, 11 federal holidays, and 260 working days.
Well, you couldn't have memorized that. You had to find that somewhere.
So you get 5 days off and work 260. Right. So works out pretty well. So. Well, the week has 7 days because the Gregorian calendar follows the moon phases, although the moon takes 29.5 days to cycle through its phases, and this is a hard number to base a time span on. So it's a miracle we haven't had a calendar at all. And why do we need one? Right. I don't know, but anyway.
I mean, for 6,000 years, the months and days have changed, but depending on the culture in charge.
Yeah, that's it. Well, the Babylons rounded the cycle to 28 days and divided it into periods of 4 with 7 days each. That's why we have 4 weeks in a month.
Oh.
So there you are. Yeah. And Saturday, Sunday, Monday are named after 3 of the planets considered to be gods, Saturn, Sun, and Moon. All the other days are named after Germanic or Norse gods. And although the international standard defines that the week starts on a Monday, in the United States, the norm is still to count Sunday as the first day of the week.
So that's good. I mean, that's a nice way to start it.
Yeah, so there you are. So
everybody wants to go to Mars.
Yeah, so there you are. Got that taken care of out of the way.
I couldn't believe you saw that big rocket that the U.S. sent up on the back of a Musk Rocket X ship.
Yeah.
And what a monster that thing is. They're now pegging the value of his SpaceX company that he owns $180 billion.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
He should roll it into Tesla.
Yeah, probably. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Well, I guess the big news of the week, Shane, states are trying to kick Trump off the ballot. Maine and Colorado, and it will probably for sure end up in the Supreme Court, I would predict.
Oh, they all will.
Yeah,
they all will. Your Supreme Court can't ignore this now. It's snowballing intentionally.
Yeah.
And they just can't allow this to be out there, sort of hanging out there like, oh, is this constitutional or not? Clearly not.
Yeah. Well, Trump's got 4 trials scheduled, 91 indictments, and not a single one is for insurrection that I've found anyway.
None of them.
Yeah.
Never been charged, never been convicted. This was all That's why when they had the January 6th committee, they didn't use the word riot, or demonstration. They used the word insurrection. So
Right.
they'd be able to ref. Interesting thing about the 14th Amendment, it is the one amendment to the Constitution that has the most precedents. Isn't that amazing? Huh?
Yeah. Well, it guarantees equal protection under the law, which is the main reason, I guess, that it's there.
Well, a lot of it came during the Warren Court back in 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
The right to be represented before you're tagged by the police in the station.
Yeah, it actually they're talking about the 14th Amendment, Section 3. It doesn't even mention the president.
No.
So I'm not sure how it qualifies. It mentions insurrection all over the whole place.
The whole thing about it, I said a couple of weeks ago, is this has nothing to do with Trump. This is, a procedure and precedent for the Supreme Court to make a determination about government and policy.
Mm-hmm.
And the policy is clearly unconstitutional. And the precedent is what rights does a president have in office as well as out?
Mm-hmm.
We all know about the letter because of Clinton that the Department of Justice wrote up that a president can't be indicted while in office.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing that's going to come back to bite the Democrats, is to find out that, if a Nixon or a Clinton commit a crime, a high crime, or any misdemeanor, they can be indicted.
Mm-hmm.
So not just they don't. The reason they said that was because if he does that, then he should be impeached. But that could change, and all of a sudden you have a president being both impeached and indicted. That's talk about wayward things.
That would be something, wouldn't it? From our text line, 406-478-8298. Great year, record stock market, record domestic oil production, gas prices down, record Christmas buying, inflation rate down, eggs back to $1.89 a dozen. And I think, Shane, when the pandemic started, you and I predicted it would be until the end of this year, back in 2021, we predicted. Before things would get back to normal. So we're right.
Or somewhat normal. We're hoping they will continue normally.
That's right. Let's take a phone call. 406-522-TALK is the number, 406-522-8255. Caller, you're on with the award-winning Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, good morning, boys and girls, and I want to wish Shane and Tom, both of you, a very wonderful 2024, and thank you so much for what you did this year for all of your followers. It's been a very stressful year, and I just feel like a wet wash rag that's been wrung out. I'm glad 2023 is coming to an end, but I'm telling you, I see a lot of darkness in the next year, 2024, and you're talking about the election. I'd like to just ask this question. How can we trust any state that takes a candidate off of their election ballot when his name is on the election ballot? I fear the 2024 election. I don't know if it's going to be an honest one or not, and it's going to just fray our nerves. And this thing with the border, we have, of course, another caravan coming. I know you're aware of that. It's up to about 8,000 people now, and they claim they're going to get in this country one way or another. And there was a truck driver on Coast to Coast Radio yesterday morning who was on the border, and he was talking to Clyde Lewis, and he was telling us what he was seeing. There's violence and aggression all along that southern border now. And he said the trash and the garbage, they're just trashing everything up and making a total slum out of that whole southern border area, including the Rio Grande River. It's just a hell of a mess. And it's something, I don't know. The United States military, we had that along our southern border from 1848 until 1946. And, of course, we had President Eisenhower and his Operation Wetback that in the 1950s removed 1.8 million illegals in this country using only 750 agents in about a 3-month period of time. But I know this. I'm fearing for violence. I think the situation is really starting to get out of control, and it's just going to be heartbreaking what's going to happen in our large cities and to the innocent people, Americans living all along the southern border. But I would like to know, if I have your permission, or if you would let me, Shane and Tom, have you heard of, I'm sure you've heard of Cozy Powell. He was a rock musician, a drummer in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I would like to take the year out playing a little bit of his solo Dance with the Devil. Just drum out the end of this year and bring in the new year. It won't be very long. It's maybe 15, 20 seconds of the video. You can find it anywhere and everywhere. But for those of you who don't know, Cozy Powell was a drummer, an extraordinary drummer. And he was born in England, December 29th, yesterday, his birthday, 1947, and he tragically was killed in an auto accident in England on April the 4th, 1998. So would that be okay with you?
Well, keep it short because we have copyright issues.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about
okay.
10 seconds, I think, is fine. We're not going to play the whole song.
Okay. Well, God bless all of you in 2024. And I have to say something, too, about one of our greatest American writers. We lost Cormac McCarthy, who gave us so much in literature to remember him by. His last work was No Country for Old Men. I'm sure you're familiar with the story, and there's been a movie made out of it. Tommy Lee Jones and Woody Harrelson and Josh Brolin were starred in it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just want to play a little bit of Cozy Powell here, and here we go, everybody.
Thank you. That was almost something I could hear, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, kick ass in 2024. God bless.
All right. Thanks, Nancy. All right. Well, yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of the people that were lost this year as the show goes on. So we'll be chatting about that. But I wanted to get back to this 14th Amendment, Section 3, which says no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president. Doesn't say anything about the president or the vice president.
That's right.
As no person. Or hold any office, civil, military, under the United States, under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid and comfort to the enemies thereof, but Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. So that's where we find ourselves with the 14th Amendment. Doesn't really mention the president at all. So
no, but it carries over the 2/3 majority, from the first part of your Constitution and definition of the executive department and impeachment. So there's so many aspects of it that makes it so remarkable. The one problem that they have about this is that the states that we're talking about right now are Colorado and New Hampshire, and they both accepted his money to pay for the right to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
So they have that difficulty too. It would be quite funny if, in part of the decision, the Supreme Court stated, well, if they were going to take him off the ballot, they should have reimbursed him for what he paid to be on the ballot.
Yeah, there you are. All right. Well, let's see. Got a couple other things from our chat line today. Let me pull it up here if I can. Trying to. Anyway.
Your
Trump.
computer works.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
I know. Trump was both indicted and impeached. Well, neither one of them are guilt. He wasn't
and
found...
neither one of them have anything to do with insurrection.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They don't. Yeah. I mean, none of his 4 trials, I don't think, have anything to do with insurrection.
Well, yeah, in both cases, you know, it's the Secretary of State of both states that made this decision. The interesting thing about New Hampshire is it was supposed to be presented to a committee, which the Secretary of State said all it was, and Trump was represented by lawyers, and everybody provided their evidence, and it's my opinion. Who cares about your opinion?
Yeah.
So she did this totally on her own. This is her own personal, what do you call it? The indictment of Trump.
Yeah.
Your system doesn't work. Doesn't work that way. Maybe in Putin's world or Xi's, you know. By the way, I've always thought about the possibility of this being the issue with these open border you have. I think that both Obama and Biden made a deal with Mexico to open the border so that enough Mexicans could come back in, and they could get 53% of their country back, because over the years we've talked about after the Mexican-American War, the U.S. ended up with 53% of Mexico. So there might be a conspiracy here, Thomas.
There just might be.
Mexico wants its country back.
Yeah. From our text line, 406-478-8298, for the millionth time, if employers didn't hire them and landlords didn't rent to them and local governments didn't house them, a word would get out, there's nothing here to come to. And I think they would come just as fast because they want what we have here. It isn't jobs. It isn't handouts. They want freedom that they don't have in their own place. So they're going to keep coming.
Of course, yeah. Now, before we go to break in, just while you talk for 3 more minutes, I'm going to try again. Here it comes.
Okay.
Continue, good sir.
What are you talking about?
Skype. I'm going to try and call you again.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. God, I have no idea what's going on. So it's the end of the year. But...
Neither do I.
Okay. Let's see. Got a new rule, Shane. We got a new rule here. That text messages. I'm not gonna trash callers. The texters that text in and trash callers, because the caller can't defend themselves. You know, right. So if you want to trash the callers, save your text, because I'm not gonna read it. So if you got a dispute with the caller, call up. You know, at least she's got the balls to call in. So yeah, you know, if you don't,
that's fair.
Then no, I'm not going to do that anymore, because it's not fair to the caller that can't defend themselves any longer. So that's a new rule that we're going to have on the show. That if you want to trash the callers, trash the issue rather than the caller. So maybe they'll get
a text. It's sort of like that ham sandwich deal to get anyone indicted. Right?
Yeah. We're not not indicted. Our ham sandwich callers. So
that's right.
States are respecting the 14th Amendment to keep people off the ballot who give aid to insurrection. 14th state gives aid to. Remember, Charles Manson never killed anyone. The 14th mentions elections. Last time I read the Constitution, it said we elect presidents, but it doesn't have anything to say in this particular amendment section they're using. Doesn't mention the president at all. So No, I don't think it's going to fly.
Well, here's a great example. Manson was a co-conspirator, so he was convicted of that, and Manson went to jail because he was convicted.
Yeah.
So there's no indictment, there's no conviction of Trump, and so you can't just pull jaywalking, as a misdemeanor out of the sky and say, "Oh, you can't run for president."
Yeah. Well, there are indictments, but none of them have been proven as yet, other than the E. Carroll one. Yeah. So that's the only one.
But even all the indictments he has against him, with the exception of the one in Georgia about January 6th, have nothing to do with the 14th Amendment. So, and again, I don't see the one in Georgia going to trial. We'll see, but I don't expect so.
Okay. Now,
because if he settled with those workers, they would have signed a non-disclosure and non-circumvention agreement.
Yeah.
So if they want to testify against him, they'd lose their deal with him.
Yeah. Well, Trump was impeached twice, and I'm pretty sure both impeachments happened before January 6th.
Yeah, you read a calendar. Good job.
Yeah. So anyway, freedom is worthless without jobs and shelter. Remove the enabling, and they will go home. Go home to what? Do you think they had a job and a shelter where they came from?
That's right.
What are you, nuts?
Are you crazy?
Too much.
Okay, I'll let the bottom of the hour go to you, buddy.
All right. Too much income or too much eggnog. That's the problem. We'll be back with more. Hey, we've still got to talk about a lot of things this morning, so stay tuned. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone. 27 minutes before the top of the hour, and it's Saturday. It's December 30th, 2023. Wow.
We're at the end of the football season. So far, the games have been completely unexpected, but some of the plays have been phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, been pretty impressive.
The physicalness of these guys is, wow, that's just incredible.
Yeah.
They're not small people either.
There you go.
They're all 6.
Oh, I know. When I worked in San Diego, several of the then Chargers would come into our business from time to time, and they are immense people. I mean, they're not fat people; they're huge people.
They're just gigantic.
It's not,
and they're all young.
Well, yeah. You got to be young to play that game.
Yeah, 22 to 35. I mean, boy. It's like Fracco who's playing.
Yeah.
Like he's playing some great football at 38. Whoa!
Donald Trump was impeached the second time on January 13th, Shane. So that just goes to show you that 7 days after the 6th, Congress can really move when they want to.
That's right. That's right.
So there you go.
Well, this week was eventful for the House of Representatives of your country. I think it was Bill 59 finally came to the floor. It came out 59 bills. These people usually pack in around 3,000 bills in a year.
Yeah. Let's see. Blame all you people in right wing, and we end up with another Joe Biden because you keep lifting up the most hated candidate in the field so you can get ratings. I'm sorry. Am I not here to get ratings?
Well, I'm sorry. Does not more than half the electorate want to vote for Trump?
Well,
and, like the polls are 52 for Trump and 41 for Biden or some crazy thing.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I don't know. You could cherry pick the lowest polls. I think he's 32 at some poll and, 39 whatever. In another one and 40 in another one. But, he's below, he's underwater.
Trump's on the top and Biden's under the boat.
Yeah. Well, Trump's only on top with Republicans so far. I mean, that's what we're talking about, is him as being the nominee. So, but this thing in Colorado and Maine are really helpful propping Trump up, because I think a lot of independents are out there thinking, why are they trying so hard to keep this guy off? I've got to look harder, I guess, at him and what he's done or what he did or what he didn't do or whatever. So I would say that he's all these states that are working there are certainly helping him a lot.
Well, I think the other thing that's helping him too is the Biden dumpster fire. Everybody sees what more and more people are becoming aware, not just the ones that are, but becoming aware of what the Biden family has done. And it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's, he's committed treason, or he's compromised, or he's taken bribes, or he keeps lying to me. So all of a sudden you stop for a moment, you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, why am I listening to what they're telling me about Trump when I can see what everyone's telling me about Biden?
Yeah, so I'm going to say. Whatever everyone says they love about Trump, if he means what he says and says what he means, he said he wants to be a dictator. No, he didn't. Give it up. Give it up.
It's funny.
He says he wants to get revenge and weapon on the Justice Department. No, again, not what he said.
No.
And even if he does, so what? What, the same thing wasn't done to him?
That's right.
I'm going to say, keep it up, so. All right. Let's see. The Dems need to stop wasting taxpayer money. Yeah, no kidding. That they are doing a lot of.
That's sort of hard for them to do that when they've been doing it for 100 years.
Well, yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah. What was I thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
As for the amendment to work, we need to have an insurrection. Yeah, and unless somebody's been charged with an insurrection that I'm unaware of, I don't think anybody in Trump's group or anyone else has been charged with insurrection. Have they, Shane? Do you know of anyone who's been charged with insurrection?
No, even the people that they put in prison thus far from January 6th, they've been misdemeanors, interfering with the public, interfering with Congress, like the congressman that, set off the fire before a vote on the floor and emptied the building, and he got a fine and $500. Other people, they were thrown in prison in solitary confinement for 2 years before they even got a court time or saw a lawyer. 2 years. Can you imagine? I wouldn't last a day in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
Because if I did, the only person I would be talking to is myself when I came out.
Well, there you are. Yeah. From our app chat line, Lauren Bobart, the crazy woman from Colorado, changed her district to 200 miles from where she lives. This is how Republicans rig elections. And yeah, she did change her. She did change where she is. And turn your volume down if you're going to cough.
Sorry, I'm trying.
Yeah. So yeah, she's moving her district to a more favorable district for her. So that's how politics works. You got a volume knob there. You just turn it down on your thing, on your editor. Ratings are more important to talking heads than truth. Well, if I'm lying, point it out. Give it to me. What am I lying about?
Well, it's only fair to be able to do that. I mean, you're forced to do it in a courtroom, right?
Yeah. They will give us a Biden 2.0 for ratings. I understand the Bonginos who are making millions, but Tom sells Trump for free. Not selling Trump.
You're selling Trump, yeah.
I'm just saying that everybody should be on the ballot. You know, if he wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. I lived through Biden. I lived through Obama. I lived through Carter. I lived through FDR. I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. You're alive.
I'm alive. I'll be great. No problem.
Like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
We're like Frankie, you know.
It's alive. Well, even former Obama advisor David Axelrod warned Friday the court decision removing President Trump from the primary ballot would rip the country apart as legal questions mount over his candidate qualifications. So, Maine Secretary of State determined this week that Trump should be barred from the primary ballot, citing his conduct surrounding the Capitol January 6th, riots, as violating the 14th Amendment, the insurrection clause. So, good luck doing that in court, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
I will tell you. I mean,
well, we've talked about this so much, but again, and for context, we need to mention the problem with the Democrats is, they have a great way of grabbing the news cycle. They really do, and they have a great use of words like insurrection as opposed to riot or demonstration. But they always overshoot. They just go too far.
Yeah, and
most of it's with lies. We used to have that expression, line up, it sticks to the wall. But in the case of the Democrats now in the 21st century, it's actually at the point where if they say anything, you just have to question it as a lie, because that's what they seem to be doing all the time.
Yeah. Well, the Colorado Supreme Court's 4-3 decision on December 19th reversed a ruling by a lower court that deemed Trump an insurrectionist, but said Section 3 doesn't apply to a presidential candidate. Do you not have a volume, Shane?
Yeah, I did. I put it on. I put the mute on.
Nah, not working. Let's see. Insurrectionist, but Section 3 doesn't apply to a presidential candidate. The amendment's text refers to an officer of the United States, but legal scholars and courts have deferred on whether the term encompasses the president. The Colorado majority also found that the court had ample authority under the state's election code to decide questions of Trump's eligibility, just as Maine Secretary of State ruled she did there. So Trump's lawyers have argued that state authorities in general aren't empowered to enforce Section 3 without legislation from Congress authorizing such lawsuits. So that's where we find ourselves. So let's go back to the text line, 406-478-8298. Rulings are more important to talking heads than truth. They will, I already read that. So let's see. Oath keepers were convicted of insurrection. You really are not informed. They weren't. Send me the test. Send me the link. Send me the link where they were charged with insurrection, and I'll be happy to look at it. Time you promote Trump's for ratings. Well, if I do, it's working. You're going to do weeks of Nikki top 10 accomplishments? No, you have chosen your candidate. You will be part of the blame if we get a Biden again. Well, I told you before, we're going to get a Biden again, pretty much. So that's a given. Let's see. Google it. Trump is now bragging at rallies he wants to be a dictator. Of course he does. Do you believe two wrongs make a right? If Trump weaponizes the DOJ, you're okay. Please leave my country. What? It's not weaponized now? Are you kidding me? Are you telling me the Merrick Garland, thank God he's not on the Supreme Court, has not weaponized the DOJ? Please, you leave my country. What if
This is a CYA comment, because Trump wouldn't weaponize it, but he would, I'm quite sure, want an attorney general that would go after people that falsely accuse people, or go after people in the Department of Justice that threw people in solitary confinement for years because of January 6th, and in particular go after their FBI. I mean, people that text you, Tom, I don't think they stop to realize that a person just walking down the street, over half the people that they have in solitary confinement right now never even got into the Capitol. They were just outside. So you should stop and think about that for a moment. I mean, that's a police state.
Yeah. No, it is. We're in a police state right now.
That's right.
What if, just run with this for a minute, what if the DOJ doesn't weaponize and just one man is bad and broke laws? Well, if he broke any laws, the courts will decide.
That's right. And a jury of your peers, if it's a federal case,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a criminal case, not necessarily in civil cases. Even Trump he said now the mistake in his civil case in New York that he didn't ask for he didn't ask it for it to be done or dealt with a jury, because now he's got this wacko crazy judge. But again, it's like the Democratic Party, the wacko judge in the New York case is overstepped so egregiously that I don't see it happening, right?
Yeah. What was the actual goal of January 6th? What change did those peaceful protesters want? Was it to deny state certified ballots? No respect for those states? No, I don't think that's what they went there for at all. They questioned the election and had every right to do so. The fact that it got out of hand is unlawful, and the people who committed the crimes should do the time.
Well, and look, they also wanted Vice President Pence to reject the electors in certain states: Arizona, Michigan, Maine, or Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and he refused to do so. And everybody said he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that. And then all of a sudden, afterwards, we had all these examples of the Democrats doing it in 2000, and then the Democrats doing it, when in all the cases that's happened. And then after after January 20th or 21st, and Biden was fully set in as president, the first thing, the House and the Senate, and he signed a bill that said the vice president couldn't do that. So,
Well, there you
are. Again, here we go.
A lot of accusations about Trump's business dealings. What about Biden's money from the University of Pennsylvania and other places?
Well, the Pennsylvania one's scary because it's so in your face.
Yeah.
The Communist Party of China made a contribution to the fund of Pennsylvania University of $25 million into their endowment fund. On one condition, they opened a school with $5 million to hire Biden. Now, I don't know if that's to me sounds like, well, you call it what you want, but
there you go.
I'd say he's compromised.
It's Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein was the doctor. Yeah, when we yelled, "It's alive," that was the doctor.
Yeah, you're right.
So there you are, Gene Wilder, by the way.
Gene Wilder, great movie. Oh, yeah. At last, I finally found you. Yeah. His wife and Frankenstein in the cave were that was like a Hitchcock scene, where. You saw the blood in the bottom of the bathtub, and it turns out to be chocolate sauce.
Yeah. Well, nobody bombed the Senate since liberals did it in 1989, so I guess we're okay. I think January 6th was about showing support for Trump in mass. There you go.
Yeah, I think it was a demonstration. I wouldn't go to. They didn't destroy anything. They didn't break anything. I mean, the doors were open to them. It's just like crazy. Yeah.
What are you kidding? You won't respect the jury's decision. Trump supporters don't respect the election. They think it was stolen. Why would they respect a jury?
Well, that's not true. Someone of Trump's wealth or anyone else would have a team of lawyers who, if they didn't accept a jury's decision, there's a big word. It's called appeal.
Yeah.
You appeal it to a higher court.
Yes, you blame Merrick Garland for Trump holding documents that he didn't belong, that were secret military secrets, but you don't blame Trump, you blame the cops. No, I'll blame Biden, who also had them. I'll blame Pence, who also had them. Who else, Shane? There's got to be more.
Biden is the one that's got to be the most, I mean, they go through this whole story about Trump and invading Mar-a-Lago and trying to defend it back and forth. And then, remember, it was like almost a month after all of that before we saw the boxes in Biden's garage, right? And like, that didn't happen right away, remember? It came like a month later. And it was one of these things that you look at it, you go, nah, he can't be. You have that picture of him driving his black Corvette out of his garage, and right behind it, there's the boxes circled. Yeah. You're going, no, that can't be possible. I mean, it was so amazing, you just couldn't believe it.
Well, let's see. Jack Smith, in his indictment, said Trump had every right to question the election and go through the courts, and he did, and Trump did not respect the court. So we gathered a flock of cult members on January 6th to overturn the election with force. But, well, guess what? That didn't happen.
That's right.
So it's kind of a moot point. You know?
It was. And again, you and I try to be thorough. And from the election day till the 6th of January, there were 5 possibilities he could pursue. And we went through all of them every week, and even on a podcast. So, if you want an education on American law and the Constitution, go check out our podcast.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Why would anyone not trust Chinese vote counters? So, I don't know if the Chinese counted any votes, Shane. I'm not aware of any, but maybe they did. Or maybe they're made in China. So, I don't know. Not going there.
Not going there, no.
Well, Nikki Haley had to backtrack a criticism after omitting slavery from Civil War causes. I thought this was much ado about nothing, Shane. This was a setup deal, and
a 6-year-old.
Yeah. I don't think. I think we all know the reasons for the Civil War, that the South had an economy that had to require slaves. They couldn't compete.
That's right.
So, it's an economic thing. It's
South Carolina was, first state to secede. And, they did it before Lincoln even took the oath of office. This was between the election and him taking the oath of office. So,
yeah,
she's the one who took down the Civil flag or Civil War flag or banner, the Confederate banner, and it was South Carolina's, and she ended it. There's a lot of it, but to some degree, I think it's right. She should have said something about slavery, not ignored it. Yeah. Somebody like. Look, when you're in a public forum like that and someone asks you a question, the person that's running for office and seeking people's support and their vote, you don't answer a question with a question. So you don't say to a 60-year-old, what do you think caused it? That looks really bad. You have to rely on a 6-year-old to tell you what caused it. That's.
Let's take a phone call. 406-522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Good morning, Tom and Shane. This is Steve.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right, but I don't think our country's doing very well.
Well, we're going to talk about that later in the show. So,
yeah, I suppose. Well, it seems like the texters that they don't have enough guts to call in, but they text, I guess, and they drank the Kool-Aid and they went to the public fool system, which is the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto. So you make the little children grow up and believe that black is white and white is black, good is evil, evil is good, and they believe it. And they text. Anyway, I don't know. I always play the radio at night, and then I woke up the other morning. It was about 10 days ago, I guess. And it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and there was this guy on there. Now, all the prophecies, if you read George Washington's vision, the vision of the American evangelist, Ezekiel 38 and 39 in the Bible, and Dimitri Duduman and Stocking Wolf, they all talk about where we're at right now. And it says in the Bible, Ezekiel 38 and 39 says, I will bring Gog and Magog, which is Russia and China, up. Where does Russia and China go when they go up against my people, Israel? Well, Israel was a people, not a country.
I got to go, Steve. I'm up against the clock. Hey, thanks for the call.
All right.
Thanks for the call, man. All right. We'll be right back with more Tom and Shane right after this. It's New Year's weekend. It's 8 minutes after the hour of 9 a.m. Mountain Time. It's Saturday. It's December 30th, 2023. Tomorrow is 123, 123, Shane.
I like that.
Everywhere except in Canada.
That's right. Well, tomorrow's actually the 31st, but Monday's 1, 2, 3.
That's true. Yeah, but tomorrow's 123, 123. So
yeah, I know. It's just cool.
Pretty good. From our text line, 406-478-8298. Tom, the only reason that riots happened on January 6th is that Speaker Pelosi and Mayor Bowser refused the 20,000 National Guardsmen that Trump offered 2 days earlier. The media does not cover this, and it does not fit the liberal narrative, and that's signed by Tom, who has guts enough to sign his text.
Well, another example of the overreach by the Democratic Party and the wokeism of the whole Trump era. They overreach, and then when the actual truth comes out, they just lie and say, oh, that's not true. I mean, how many times has Biden been asked about his son? He looks at the camera, walking to the helicopter, standing behind a podium, standing, some factory somewhere and says, they're lies, they're all lies, 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 lies. And, that was the ballot of the Clintons, and it worked for 8 years. And the reasoning was in our system, you can just say it's all lies because it'll take years to go through a court to prove otherwise. And then they're right,
Yeah. There you go. From our text line, although texters generally stick to the subject, it's completely peaceful till Capitol Police started shooting people with rubber bullets.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. But it wasn't, I don't believe it was a Capitol policeman that shot that woman. It was a security, someone attached to a member of the Congress's security team. It wasn't an actual Capitol policeman. It was a guy in one of those black suits, Men in Black.
Well, I thought they had the name of the guy who shot her.
They do, but I don't want to.
Okay. Well, we got a migrant caravan. Nancy mentioned this earlier. A migrant caravan departed Mexico's southern city of Tapachula on Monday as the Biden administration ratchets up pressure on Mexican President Obrador to impose tighter limits on immigration crossing his country. 6,000 strong caravan, largest organized group of migrants to form since 2022, when news of a similar sized caravan threatened to overshadow and the Summit of the New Americas, hosted by Los Angeles by the Biden administration, and the new Christmas caravan, Shane. It's the Christmas caravan.
Yep.
Why would you be against the Christmas caravan? Promised to be a political headache for both Biden and Obrador as Antony Blinken and Mayorkas and White House Homeland Security Liz Sherwood Randall, are due to meet the Mexican president on Wednesday. So there you are.
I think, I have an idea. I think these caravans, any over to the size of 5,000, then 10, 15, 20, 25,000, they should name them like hurricanes. Yeah, give them a Mexican name. That'll make it even more spectacular. A band one or a 5,000, we'll call him Jose and his family or something. They should name them like they do hurricanes.
Well, yeah, that's certainly.
Because the long-lasting damage these people are going to have on your country, it's just not today, but in 20, 30 years. They want Oklahoma back, they want New Mexico back, they want Arizona back. They want all these states that were states of Mexico back. That's what's going on, baby.
Well, that's true, yeah. Well, Shane, the city of Bozeman, they're overhauling pet licenses, and prices have been raised for the first time in 30 years to get a pet license in Bozeman. If you have more than 3 animals or 3 dogs, I think you have to get a kennel license from the city. So, it's I don't know.
Well, that's not fair for, the guy that has a couple of dogs and people say he looks like them. Yeah. I mean, that would be 3 dogs. So you have to have a kennel license.
That would put you in trouble. That's for sure.
Yeah. You'd be, dead on. Yeah.
Well, this article doesn't say how much the increase is going to be or what the prices are. So anyway, I don't live in the city anymore. And when I did live in the city, we had 3 dogs, but no one cared and neither did we. So.
Well, what's interesting about it is it applies to dogs, not other pets. A lot of people have more than 3 birds, and a lot of people, including especially women, have more than 3 cats. We've all heard about the 10 cat lady or 15 cat lady. So it's interesting they pick one group of animal that. Well, I guess they are outside a lot of the time. Cats stay inside, unless they're feral cats.
Yeah. So there you are. Yeah, more than 2 dogs. Yeah, you got to have more than 2 dogs. You have to have a kennel license. And we went around a couple of years ago, Shane, with people having chickens in their backyard or whatever. So.
Well, it'd be relevant today with the cost of eggs, right?
Yeah.
They should have an egg tax.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know, Shane. This is
it's good
deal. I don't know. Well, we got a big Democrat debate coming, Shane. Williams and Marianne Williams and Dean Phillips of Minnesota are going to debate, and man, that should be like watching paint dry.
Well,
that's going to be scheduled in January in New Hampshire.
It'll be like watching CNN or MSNBC because, they'll look like 2 broadcast announcers that nobody knows.
That's true. Well, if you're interested at all, it'll air on where nobody will watch it. It'll be on Sirius XM, channel 124 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on January the 8th, and it's at the New England College, a liberal arts nonprofit school. So January 8th.
Don't you have to pay to have Sirius?
Yes, you do. Yeah, so, it's a subscription.
I'm sure people are going to join up Sirius just to listen to the debate. Yeah, they have. That's good.
To qualify for the debates, candidates had to be on the Democratic Party ballot for the first in the nation primary and poll above 5%. So I guess both of them have done that. So there's only going to be 2 of them, I guess, so far. RFK is not going to join them, I guess. So
Who's Williamson? I don't even know them, Philip.
Marianne Williamson, she's
oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's,
yeah, but they always put her name in front so you know.
Okay, yeah, she's a author, wacko, has run before unsuccessfully and will run unsuccessfully this time as well. So
a libertarian, in other words.
No, she's a liberal. She's not a libertarian.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that would be no, that won't work. So. Well, let's see. Some of the top stories, Shane, in 2023. We might go through some of these.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Remember Damar Hamlin's cardiac arrest of the football game. Got hit in the chest and fell over and took him to the hospital and found that he had a heart attack. He was 24 years old, safety for the Buffalo Bills. That's and right. Came back and played here recently, I believe, and
yes, he did.
A couple games ago.
That's right.
Yeah,
remarkable recovery. The field medic team on both teams saved his life. It was
it was pretty impressive. Yeah. Well, on June 18th, a submersible called the Titan carried 5 people to view the wreckage of the Titanic. Lost communication with the ship, and that it launched from, and it began its descent, and a massive search was put on, and it eventually had imploded 2 hours after it was launched. So everybody in there was crushed by the force of the sea and died, of course. Yeah. Well, Lewiston, Maine, we had a shooting spree, 18 dead. Robert Card, a military reservist. I'll get it in a minute. Had a history of mental health issues. Walked into the just-in-time bowling alley in the small town of Lewiston, Maine, and began shooting. He killed 7 people, including a 14-year-old boy. There for a youth bowling league, and then left the bowling alley, drove 4 miles to a bar and grill, which was hosting an event for members of the community. He entered the building and again began firing. 8 people were shot dead there. 3 others died on the way to the hospital. So in a matter of 12 minutes, he killed 18 people and wounded another 13. And following a 48-hour manhunt, they found him in a tractor trailer, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, Shane.
Yeah.
Well,
amazing.
And we also had the odyssey of Kevin McCarthy. Speakership begins, ends. 17 ballots or however many it was. I forget how many ballots they had before they finally got the new Louisiana speaker.
Well, the only thing interesting about that is they broke a record for trying to elect a speaker. That was the number of ballots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's the longest ever, I think, in House history. Well, of course, we all know the president was indicted 4 times in 4 different courtrooms across the country. So during a 5-month span, he was indicted in Washington, D.C. on 4 felony counts related to efforts to overturn the election, indicted on 13 felony counts in Georgia for alleged election interference, indicted on 34 felony counts in New York in connection with hush money payments to a porn star, and indicted on 40 felony counts in Florida for hindering the government efforts to retrieve classified documents and for possession of those documents. So he's running for president, obviously. And the only president to ever be indicted on felony charges. He pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. So there you go.
Well, and we should be clear. One is a civil state case, which is in New York. Yeah. The other are 3 federal. Smith, who's charging him with the case in New York, has asked for it to go to the Supreme Court. So it will be interesting because it's been a while since the Supreme Court actually made a decision on a civil case. So that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. From our app chat line, 406, or our text line, I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. Text line. 478-8298. As a painting contractor for 30 years, watching paint dry is much more interesting than a Democratic primary. That's from Mike. That's from Mike from another Peter's Painting. And a shout out to Peter's Painting. They painted my home. And I didn't get a deal because I'm on the radio, or I'm not being reimbursed for this announcement. So
the one thing that I find fascinating is that Biden didn't go on the Iowa or New Hampshire, primaries, and I wonder if they think they made a mistake after. I don't think they thought this would work. Getting Trump thrown off, and that's why he didn't sign up for those. But now he's not in those, so it's quite interesting, the possibility that both the leaders of both parties who are likely the nominees aren't going to be in the Iowa or the New Hampshire process. It's quite fascinating, isn't it?
Trump will be there.
Well, at this point, he won't until it's overturned, but I'm just saying.
Well, they're not contesting him in Iowa and New Hampshire.
Well, they're in New Hampshire.
No, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's Colorado and Maine.
Or Maine, I'm sorry. Not New Hampshire.
Not New Hampshire, yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
so as far as anybody knows, he's going to be on
I
both
stand
ballots.
corrected.
Yeah.
The Eagle Man comes through again.
There you go. That's why I'm here. All right. Continuing the things of 2023, Matthew Perry, Friends, Chandler Bing on the very successful series. Dead at 54 of an overdose of drug overdose. So
well, be careful. They didn't. They said
did.
It wasn't. They said it was not an overdose. But
it was.
But
the amount in his system was in the thousands. So
if you're taking a horse medication, it's probably,
whatever.
Probably going to kick you in the butt.
He died acute effects of ketamine or ketamine, I guess. Yeah.
It's a horse.
A dissociative anesthetic that is also used as treatment for depression. Medical examiner said other circumstances that contributed to Perry's death included effects of an opioid, whatever that is.
Let's not talk about someone who may have committed suicide. Let's talk about something else.
An opioid used to treat opioid-using disorder, drowning, and coronary artery disease. So, unfortunate. 54, too young to go, Shane.
Yeah, it's like a dartboard. So there's 6 things that he may have died of. Yeah. Throw a dart.
Yep, you got a lot of things there. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Of course, obviously, we've got the Hamas attacks. Israel attacks Gaza, and Hamas attacks Israel. So everybody knows about that. October.
Well,
7th.
yeah, but what they don't know about, and sadly, you have to go and look, is Hamas is still firing rockets from Gaza. I mean, they're still shooting it. I mean, it's. I'm sure anyone hearing me say this is going, "Oh, you don't." No, they're not. They are.
Yeah.
In the last 4 days, the dome has shot down over a dozen rockets fired from northern Gaza, central Gaza, and southern Gaza. So they're still shooting at Israel, and yet they wanted, a ceasefire. Like it's pretty amazing. Like it's crazy, man. What they expect, I don't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, apparently, Shay, there's a hole in the sun. Scientists have discovered or identified what looks like a giant hole about the size of 60 Earths in the sun's atmosphere. While it may look like a hole, what astronomers are seeing in images taken by NASA is cooler areas of the sun, which appear darker in ultraviolet and X-rays, and hotter areas appear more brighter. And the cooler areas are called coronal holes and are found on the outermost region of the sun's surface. I didn't think the sun had a surface because it's all gas. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
surface meaning the edge of the gas planet that it is. But the interesting thing about this, which is really cool, is it now confirms the modern extreme that we're in. It's not a moderate minimum; it's an extreme 11-year cycle, 5 years in. So we have 6 more years of this, where there's a large magnitude of sunspots, which go along with these holes in the sun, because a lot of these sunspots come from inside the sun and explode out. They don't actually come from the surface.
That's true.
Interesting fact. Interesting fact.
Okay, number 9, a Chinese spy balloon across the USA from January 28th to February 4th. High-altitude balloon originating from China flew across North American airspace. The balloon came into the country over Alaska and then flew south through western Canada and eventually into the contiguous United States. A week later, the U.S. Air Force shot it down off the coast of South Carolina. So, what was it? We don't know. Spy balloon or what? I don't know. So, not a clue. Well, student loans, President Biden's plan to erase them, and the realization that repayment of those who have begun, again, were topics of borrowers on 2023. So, President's plan to forgive up to $20,000 in student loan was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court in June. And while other plans from the Biden administration offered relief to thousands of those who took out loans to pay for education, the president's most comprehensive plans faced legal challenges. So, some of the big things that happened in 2023.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And he lost the challenge, and the Supreme Court said he didn't have the authority to cancel the debt because the debts are already assumed by your country, which is what we reported and explained. And so it's basically like the IRS canceling back taxes, basically, right? It's a similar thing. So if he's going to do it for college kids that should pay, it's the first big loan that they have to pay in their life, then people that, people making over, people with a certain number of kids or disabilities, or maybe people work in the civil service, policemen, doctors, ambulance, nurses. Maybe these people, they should get not a refund, but not a reduction, but a cancellation of their taxes.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this segment. We still got a couple more hours to go, I think, or an hour and a half or something. I don't know. I forget what it is. But anyway, I know we're out of here sometime this morning, so I'll keep in touch with you, let you know when that's going to be. All right, 29 minutes after the hour, Saturday, December 30th, 2023. Tom and Shane on the air every Saturday morning, and we're welcoming in the new year, and we hope you have a happy and prosperous one too. We will return right after this, so stay tuned. Happy New Year, everyone. It's 27 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Saturday, it's December 30th, 2023. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, is in Kamloops, Canada. Like it or not. We won't let him in the U.S. because, well, I don't know. There's immigration laws. So.
Yes. The border is closed.
That's right. Border's closed to you. So, well, Shane, we talked about we've got these primaries coming up in January. Iowa's coming up, New Hampshire, North Carolina, or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. I don't know. I don't care which one. And you were mentioning Biden is going to be on the ticket. So, is Biden going to?
No, he's not going to be on the ticket. He's not on the first two Democratic primaries.
Okay, but is he going to run for president? He doesn't have to be on any of the ballots. It could be a contested convention, and he could be elected at the convention over anybody else. So could Trump, for that matter.
Well, I as a dog that isn't in the fight, I just look at this dumpster issue with him and his family, and it's accelerating. It's not decreasing. It's not like they've come up with any explanation for anything. So I don't know. I guess they think they can get him elected. I don't know how, but if there wasn't cheating in 20, they've maybe figured out a way to cheat in 24. I don't know, Thomas.
Maybe, but
yeah.
All right, let's take a phone call. 406-522-TALK is the number, 406-522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Happy New Year, everyone.
All right.
Hey. I hope your next year is going to be really amazing, and you stick around because we love you on the radio, Tom.
Yeah.
Now, Shane, out of the gate, do you have any silver bars or any kind of silver up there at your house?
Oh yeah, I'm going to tell people that on the radio. Yes, I have silver coins. Like a couple of them from.
Yeah, there you
go. Okay, because I've been hearing you sniffle for a couple of weeks now. So what you do, it's an old granny's tale, and it works, is you take a silver coin and you put it into a glass that's away from electricity, and you let it sit for at least 24 hours and then down the whole thing. And your sniffling will go away, and we'll stop hearing you cough on the radio.
Oh, there you go.
Well, all right.
Okay, so I'm finding all of these multi-million-dollar, beautiful, rich women that want to marry me and everything like that. I feel sorry for them, but anyways, they're really big into crypto and everything. But I did remember there was something negative going on with the 401ks and Social Security based on the elections and the wars and everything like that. So I was wanting your boys' opinion on if Social Security is even worth even investing in.
Well, I don't think you can invest in Social Security.
You mean, is it worth you putting money into it yourself? You have to. You can't.
Yeah, it's kind of a given.
Yeah. They're talking big on some of that, but we're onto the crypto now. So that's what these other ones are going. The Trump derangement syndrome is rampant again. Everything Trump did on the 6th was completely legal, even talking to Pence, and that these people don't realize it. Money's going on out. It's just unbelievable. Israel has plenty of money. Ukraine can hold their own for a little while. We need to secure our borders 100%. There's no question about it. Did you guys hear anything about this supposed asteroid that is passing on by that may hit in 2024?
Oh, there's always those stories coming out. I don't think there's any danger of being hit by anything at the moment.
Yeah. I went and clicked on it, and it went straight to TikTok, and I'm not going to add TikTok on with my stuff for sure. But, Shane, pull out about 4 glasses and put one in each of those, and that's the easiest grandmother trick, and you'll be fixed up in a week, okay?
All right.
So, Happy New Year.
Thanks for the medical tip. Happy New Year to you. All right. Rocking and rolling, Jane.
Indeed we are. We're moving along, buddy. Moving along.
All right. Well, talking about the ballots, Shane, Representative Thomas Massey, a Republican of Kentucky, issued a warning to states moving to keep President Trump off the presidential ballot, saying the House of Representatives has the final say over whether electors from those states are certified on January 6, 2025. So Maine, Colorado, and other states that may try to bureaucratically deny ballot access to any Republican nominee should remember the U.S. House of Representatives is the ultimate arbitrator of whether to certify electors from those states. So it's up to the states, I guess, to do whatever they want to do.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So Maine, Colorado, and other states might try. I just read that.
Yes.
Trump was declared ineligible by Colorado Supreme Court last week and by Maine Secretary of State on Thursday under the 14th Amendment Insurrection Clause, pointing to Trump's denial of 2020 election results and actions leading up to a mob of his supporters attacking the Capitol on January 6th as it met to certify electors from each state. So there you go.
I'm glad you keep reading one of these texts every hour of our show, just so anybody didn't hear it before or get a chance to hear it again.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't a text, but anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, more than 2 dogs. Yeah, you got to have a kennel license. I just checked with the kennel license, and the city also requires kennel license for three or more cats. So thankfully, my 5 dogs do not live in the city.
Aren't you glad?
And the sun is a star, not a planet. Who said it was a planet? Who said the star? Who said the sun was a planet? I was questioning whether or not it had a surface, since it's a ball of gas.
That's right.
So
that's all.
I don't know. Do you know? Does the sun have a surface? Could we stand on it if we were able to handle the heat?
No, it's not. It's a gas giant.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's like Jupiter. Well, there's only 4 of the 9 planets are rock planets. The first 4.
Yeah.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The others, they're all gas giants. So there you go. The inner core of those planets are all made up of frozen gases, depending on what they're made.
Mm-hmm.
What Neptune and Uranus and Saturn,
yeah,
and Jupiter, are made up of.
So there we are. So
yeah, there you go.
Well, we'll see if it holds up that the House has the right to keep people on the ballot or not. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Well, that's right. If it'll be necessary.
Well, I asked you earlier about Biden and whether or not you think he's actually going to run, be elected, I guess. So, what are your thoughts? Is he gonna be pushed out? Do you think?
Yeah, I can't see them being foolish enough to run him. I could be wrong, but I also said, back in 2022 that I was going to try and figure out the American electorate again.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty impossible to think about or imagine. The only thing I want to watch are these polls with African Americans and Hispanics, and if they're really moving right away from the woke and liberal left.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he should run, I guess I should say.
If he should,
huh? If he does actually end up running.
Okay.
The things that could tank him, obviously, the first one, of course, is age. Everybody knows this one, that is his gaffes are history making. He'd be 86 years old at the end of his second term. He's 81, slightly older than me, but the economy, the White House economic message campaign that created the Bidenomics moniker is yet to land with the general public. Americans continue to report not feeling worse off economically under Biden, despite progress in the fight against inflation over the past year. The president argues the economy is improving because of low unemployment numbers, which currently sit at just 3.7%. Despite the Federal Reserve indicating interest rate cuts could come in 2024 after it kept rates the same, and the term Bidenomics was launched to sum up Biden's economic agenda, which is focused on building the economy from the middle out and the bottom up. But even Biden has appeared to abandon the term during his speeches, having not used it since November 1st. So, and of course, his approval rating is not good, Shane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They've stuck him below 40% in several polls, and on all topics, economy, the border, the economy, foreign affairs. He's not doing well at any of these. And another thing that hurts him is pro-Israel stance. In the more than 2 months since Hamas attacked Israel, the near constant bombardment of the Gaza Strip. As a result, Biden's pro-Israel stance has drawn scrutiny, not only from GOP opponents, but notably from within the Democratic Party itself. So,
what a list!
They're not sure what's going on with him. Yeah, and of course,
a list for him to run or against him.
This is a list that could tank him from running.
I know I was being facetious.
Okay, glad you told me. The House impeachment and Hunter Biden, that's got to be that's got to come to light sometime this year, Shane. So we've got that going on. So those are just some of the things that could derail Biden's attempt to win the presidency again.
You think?
Yeah. Trump Logic 101 from our app chat line. If Biden should lose the election, Kamala Harris can simply send the ballots back to states until the states of the ballots that she likes. There you go.
I guess they didn't listen to what I
think that's
mentioned in the third block that, they changed the rules so the vice president can't do that.
Can't do it any longer. Can't send them back.
Here's how they changed it. You still are required a motion signed by a senator and a member of the House to be considered, but for every specific elector.
Yeah.
Not general. It used to be that if you got a letter signed by a senator and a member of the House to the vice president, who's the president of the Senate, to consider returning or rejecting the credentials of an electorate from a state, that vice president could do it on his own. Now, the House has to vote to do it. So you got to have on every individual elector. So they've made it more difficult. Is all. That's all.
Yeah. For our text line, 406-478-8298. Shane said the sun was a planet. If you did, I don't remember that. You'll have to go back through the replay, Shane, and check that out, because I don't think you did. I don't know what you were talking about, but I think I would have immediately corrected you if you had said the sun was a planet.
You tend to do that, so
I know. That's what I'm saying. I would have jumped on that, I think, if you had said the sun is a planet. The sun doesn't actually have a solid surface. Well, no kidding, because it's a ball of plasma. There you go. So I think that's what I said, wasn't it? We talked about could you stand on you stand on the surface of the sun? And I said, no, I don't think so. It's pretty just a big ball of gas. So burning gas, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. We got to impeach Hunter. Do you think, Shane?
Yeah, we're going to impeach him from hiring women, right? That's right.
Now they seem to be going after him a little bit, Shane. They've set some court dates, and they kicked out that plea deal he had. Gun charge, taxes, whatever, are still going on. Is that going to happen, do you think, in 2024 before the election?
Yeah. His lawyers are trying to defer everything as long as he can. The most important thing is, what does the Attorney General and the Department of Justice do about his refusing to go before Congress and a committee, and whether they prosecute him like they did Trump supporters. We know the story, so we'll see if they do it.
Yeah. All right. From our text line, things I've been waiting for in 2023. Comer to tell us what actual crime Hunter Biden committed besides not paying taxes. So what crime Joe Biden has committed besides being a father of a loser. Comer's been promising to show the evidence for over a year. It's time for him to put up or get off the pot. And I would agree with that. I think it's time for him to let's see something.
Oh, Thomas, come on. They've provided all kinds of information, bank records, emails, texts, the president using his pseudonyms,
yeah.
Pseudonyms on emails to his friends, pictures of him. There's an endless list of evidence, and the government has indicted him. So,
and not to mention the checks they have. So
right. So let's what's so great about Democrats and the woke people? They're as crazy about their own people being rotten as they are about Trump, right? Like, they're just nuts over Trump, but they're just crazy in denial about their own people. So,
amen.
You got to wonder what kind of people are they really?
Yeah. More things I've been waiting for 3 years. Evidence of a stolen election as more time goes by, there's more evidence that the most secure election and Trump lied. And I'll agree. There hasn't been any evidence that the election was stolen, that there weren't enough votes to overturn it. So here we are. Let's see. Jesus, do you all nitpick much? Gay. We nitpick about Earth being a planet, I guess. About the dogs, and I don't know, but Gay, thanks for that. Yeah, we nitpick a lot here. It seems the textures certainly nitpick a lot. So
that's right. Today's supposed to be a fun day because it's the 30th of December, and it's a Saturday, and amazingly enough, New Year's Day is on a Monday. Yeah. So, Happy New Year. Enjoy it. And we have something special happening for us on Monday, right, Thomas? The results from the competition.
Oh, yeah.
Come out. So we'll be able to tell you next Saturday, which is, this is a teaser for you to come back and listen to hear if Tom and I won any of the awards, so we can continue being an award-winning show.
Yeah, it's the Bozeman magazine. They're going to release the results next. Well, it'll probably be on their website, I would say, on the 2nd, I think is the plan.
On the 2nd?
So,
okay.
So you can go over and see. You can go over and see how we did and where we did, and we'll be
still a teaser.
We'll be talking about it. We can't mention anything until it officially comes out. So
there you go, buddy.
Hunter did not refuse to go before Congress. He refused to go behind closed doors. Why are Republicans afraid of transparency? We have a right to hear what Biden had to say. Well, the reason Biden wants to be in public is that senators only get 5 minutes to question him, and he could sit there and pontificate and take up all the time with meaningless answers and anecdotes and whatever else. So behind closed doors, he doesn't have that luxury. So Shane smoking the hard stuff again. Comer has provided 0 bank records. Have you seen them? No, because he's lying.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
In fact, it wasn't Comer that produced them. It was the Chinese government. They gave his committee the bank accounts of the Bidens in China. These are bank accounts that aren't in the U.S. They're bank accounts that are in China. And he has shown them. So, take a walk, have a cold drink, sit down, and enjoy the view.
All right. Well, we're coming up to the top of the hour here. So when we come back, we want to, we lost some entertainment people this year, Shane. So we want to maybe go through a list of some of the people that aren't going to be with us any longer that made history in the entertainment industry. and whatever. So let's see. Televised Hunter's deposition. Republicans want to spin his words. So dishonest. Let Hunter speak. Yeah, I'm all for. Well, the behind closed doors testimony would be released with a transcript. So it's not secret. It's just behind closed doors for the time being. But once it's concluded, they'll put out the transcript of what happened behind closed doors. So
that's right. There you go.
It's that simple.
Well done, Eagle Man. You got it covered, baby. You have it all covered.
We got it, man. We got it here. What are you talking about? Jeez, holy smokes. Shane, have you made any New Year's resolutions? We should be talking about that. We should be asking the callers and texters, what's your New Year's resolution for this time?
To try and stay healthy and stay alive. That's my New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Oh, there you are. Well, I'm happy because one of the resolutions I made last year, I kept.
All right.
Yeah, I gained weight. happy about that.
That's great. I like that.
So, and I continued not smoking.
That's great. That's just great.
So I don't know. Not sure what New Year's resolution I need to make this year. So maybe the texters or callers can tell me what I need. Right. Tell me what New Year's resolution I need to make, or Shane as well. We don't want to shut Shane out of this. So. Oh geez, yeah. It's well. I don't know. I'm not disappointed to see 2023 go, Shane.
You're not?
Yeah, it wasn't much of a year. I didn't think anyway.
It was a great year for 20% of the public companies in the U.S. Oh. They all went up significantly, enough to falsely create the belief that all your exchanges are up, and it's only 20% of the stocks that did it.
All right, so, there you are.
There you go. That interest on U.S. debt is the highest it's been in 40 years. So, if you have a managed lifestyle because you live on Social Security, it's a good time perhaps to consider debt because you're getting 4 or 5% on it.
There you go.
More than you are in the bank. So, if you can get twice the amount of interest, by owning your own government's debt, then I got to go and buy some.
No, I'm telling you, got time. Just wrap it up.
I did. I thought I wrapped it up.
Well, you don't have to wrap it up abruptly.
Well, I try to be,
okay,
compliant.
All right, for the 80% of you who are sitting on losing stocks, we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, everyone. It's a Happy New Year weekend. 7 minutes after the hour, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. It's Saturday, December 30th, 2023. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Matobin is half man and half amazing. He's in Kamloops, Canada. And well, Shane, we lost some notable entertainers this year. We're going to go through some of them, not all of them, because many of them are people behind the scenes, behind the cameras, behind the whatever that people may not recognize. So
that's true.
Going to go with some people that people will know. Jeff Beck, 78, one of the great guitar players of all time, passed away, and quite a innovator of blues, jazz, rock and roll. Melinda Dillon, 83. She was the mom on A Christmas Story, which ran 24 hours on TNT, I think, or TBS, one of those.
That's right.
So, ran pretty much nonstop. Also, Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis Presley, dead at 54.
Young age.
Yeah. Robbie Knievel, son of Evel Knievel, died at 60, American stunt performer, set a lot of records. And
well, he tried to surpass his father's records. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Not very well, not successful.
Yeah, you got to be shading my age to remember Gina Lollobrigida, 95. She was an Italian hot babe in the day. And
especially in a two-piece bathing suit, baby.
she was the most beautiful woman in the world, dubbed at one time. Big actor back in the 50s and 60s, so she was pretty good. David Crosby, 81. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Yeah.
Yep.
So he was.
Yep. Crosby and Young. They wrote. It's like, there's always two guys in a band. One writes the lyrics and one writes the music, and that's what they did.
That's
they did
right.
It successfully.
Yeah. Well, Cindy Williams, 75. She was Shirley on Laverne and Shirley, if you remember the sitcom of the 70s and 80s. Also from Happy Days, I believe she was in there, and American Graffiti. A lot of various movies that she
60s and 70s, yeah. She was a 60s and 70s star, yeah.
Yeah, Burt Bacharach wrote the composition for many movies and did Walk On By, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, all kinds of music.
Dionne Warwick, baby.
Yeah, died at 94. Yeah.
What an amazing man. Mm-hmm. When you have someone who's both a lyricist and writes the music, that's just the exception. I mean, you see them come and create for all of us to enjoy. And, our generation, of course, it's different and more British, so to speak. Yeah. And Elton John, comes to mind. Elton John is the only living musician who's had a top billed song in every decade of his life. So that's pretty cool. He's in his 70s now.
Yeah,
so.
Not bad. Well, Raquel Welch, 82, is gone. Yeah, she's from 1 million years BC, a sex symbol of the 1960s and 70s, died on February 15th of this year.
If she was really around 1 million years ago, I want to go back.
Yeah, no kidding, yeah. Stella Stevens, 84. She was in the comedy The Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis. That's probably her biggest claim to fame, but did TV and movies as well. Richard Belzer.
Harry Belafonte.
The what?
Harry Belafonte.
Oh, hang on. Calm down.
I'm entitled to throw one out. You don't get to read the entire list.
I'm not reading the entire list. I'm just reading them in order of death.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, Richard Belzer, 78, a longtime stand-up comedian, became one of TV's most indelible detectives. He was John Munch in Homicide, Life on the Street, and Law and Order. And Tom Sizemore, 61, Saving Private Ryan. He passed away. Robert Blake, 89, Beretta and In Cold Blood, actor from the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. So a well-known guy.
Tony Bennett, he said, if I hadn't have gotten San Francisco as a song, I wouldn't have met every important person in the world. That's to me one of the greatest attributes of any entertainer I've ever heard. They got the opportunity to meet every important person in the world because of a song they sang. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 99, I believe he was.
Yep, 99. Yeah.
Harry Belafonte, 96, civil rights and entertainment giant who began as a groundbreaking actor and singer, activist, humanitarian. Jerry Springer, 79, the one-time Cincinnati mayor and news anchor. And, of course, the Jerry Springer Show, famous for...
throwing furniture.
Yeah, throwing furniture, breaking Geraldo's nose.
Yeah, it was really amazing. The show was really boring in the first few weeks that it was on.
Yeah.
And I think they were about ready to drop them. And then they had that first punch out. And then it just took off. Everybody wanted to watch it to see what would trigger everyone to fight.
Yep, there we go. Gordon Lightfoot, 84, If You Could Read My Mind song, and Sundown. Great songs. And a Canadian chain, so there you are.
Yeah, great entertainer. I saw him in Toronto. You know, there was a great nightclub there back in the 70s. You could go and see, and, you know, it only sat 200 or 300 people. So got to see him young and early, and he was a great entertainer with great music.
Yeah. Tina Turner was 83, the unstoppable singer and stage performer. What's Love Got to Do with It? And many great songs, great voice, tumultuous relationship with her and her
Well, yeah,
hubby.
she was one of the first people in entertainment to address the fact that behind the curtain it was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there'd been hints, and, you know, the studios protected the stars, and most companies that, you know, picked up albums with people, you know, tried to keep it behind the curtain. But she just came out and she tore the Band-Aid off for everybody.
Yeah. George Maharis, 94. You might remember him and driving around in the Corvette in the hit series Route 66 back in the 60s. And wasn't he in West Side Story too?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Can't tell you. Treat Williams, actor, 50-year career, included Everwood, which we just watched this past summer, and Hair. So, yeah. Glenda Jackson, 87, two-time Academy Award-winning performer who had a second career as a British lawmaker before an acclaimed late life return to the stage and screen.
Wasn't she the one in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for that, I think. Yeah.
Alan Arkin, 89, Academy Award for nomination, or he won for Little Miss Sunshine. So if you watch that movie, you'll remember who he was.
Yeah, he was great. And I mean, every comedian has a shtick. Insulting people or being an alcoholic. He just played the stupid comedian, and he was funny at it. You know, he was sort of the stand-up guy.
Yeah. Tony Bennett, 96. We just talked about him. Left My Heart in San Francisco. Great body of work. Shane. Many songs. Too many to mention here. Sinead O'Connor, 56. You might remember her for tearing up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. And
that's right.
Singer-songwriter, superstar.
Nobody knew who she was before that.
Yeah, they didn't. Nobody had a clue.
No.
Paul Rubens, you might know Paul Rubens better as Pee Wee Herman. He died at 70 and made a couple of movies and
would he
had a rough character.
Would he be woke corrective today? I think so.
Well, could be. No. Well, William Friedkin, 87. The reason we mentioned him is because he did the filmmaker for The French Connection and The Exorcist movie. Everyone probably remembers. So yeah, kind of a whatever. So.
Kind of a whatever. Well, the thing about The Exorcist, aside from the movie itself, was the music.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, Jaws or Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like a great TV series has, like Blue Bloods. They have a great theme song. So, that's one thing about all these people that in the music industry for, TV and movies is creating a theme song that really, really takes off in popularity.
Yeah. Well, Bob Barker, 99, House's The Price is Right, Truth or Consequences, great game show host for many decades.
60 at least.
At least, yeah, at least that long. So,
and he survived. He survived all the accusations of saying being woke to women. Let's put it. It was quite. And now it's back in the 70s and 80s when stuff like that came up. They still we're going with this guy with a very long. Microphone. That I loved his microphone. A little stick with a dot on the end.
Yeah, it was about 4 feet long. Had to hold it below your belt.
That's right.
Get it up to the...
It was like Lawrence Welk's baton. Remember, like 4 feet long, right? Like, and the one and the two.
Yeah, he beat up Adam Sandler in the golf movie, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, they filmed that right here in BC. That's
Well, Jimmy Buffett, 76, singer-songwriter, Margaritaville, of course, and many other popular hits. So, a fun guy.
Yeah, you miss a guy like that because music, of course, is entertaining, and there's love songs, and there's wedding songs, and there's family songs. But party songs, man, you never forget it because, party song is like everybody. Yeah, he was great with his party songs.
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
We Are Family. That's another one. It's just amazing.
Well, David McCallum at 90, the man from U.N.C.L.E. and NCIS. He was Ducky in NCIS, if you remember that. And the man from U.N.C.L.E., TV show, kind of a takeoff comedy on the James Bond era.
Oh, yeah. 1962 for Christmas. That's all we wanted. We wanted the we wanted the men from U.N.C.L.E. handgun outfit. You know?
There you go.
The Japanese plastic 5-piece set. Oh my gosh, it was so great. We opened it, we got it, and my younger brother and I, we immediately, we went and got our blue blazers on, and we were running around being man from U.N.C.L.E. Now we got this covered.
There you go. Dick Butkus, 80, Hall of Fame linebacker from the Chicago Bears. As I've said on the show many times, I bought a Kawasaki motorcycle because I read Dick Butkus had one in a Sports Illustrated article, probably given to him free by
That's right.
by the Kawasaki people. But if he's got one, I had to have one. So, yeah, he was an idol of mine back in the day. But dangerous guy on the football field.
And a coach in Chicago too. Yeah, he coached the team.
Burt Young, 83, played Paulie to Sylvester Stallone's Rocky franchise, if you remember that. He was the brother-in-law and kind of a ditzy guy. And you might remember the Isley brothers, founding member of that group, Rudolph Isley, 84, Twist and Shout, That Lady, It's Your Thing. Lots of great songs from the Isley brothers back in the day. Piper Laurie, 91. Yes, she was an Oscar-nominated actor, performed in many roles, and Suzanne Summers, 76, Christie on Three's Company, and the Thigh Master, Shane.
Well, yeah, who didn't have her on the wall with Welch and a couple other
I was going to say, yeah, she was a...
and the Angels, remember all the Angels? I had them up on my wall. I thought they were gorgeous, man. Ooh.
Richard Roundtree, 81. He was the tall actor on Shaft and also Night Court. He was the bailiff on Night Court. And our own late Dominic Brascia was on Night Court. You can look that up on YouTube.
Shaft, the fabulous thing about Shaft was it was sort of a B movie. But what Hollywood discovered was that the African American class was big enough to have their own movies. Mm-hmm. It was a huge hit, and of course the theme song won the Oscar movie, that year for
the movie was
which back then in the 60s or 70s, people would go to movies that won Oscars. So then American white people went and saw this, knowing it was a black movie, and they went, "Wow, this is great."
Yeah.
So he did like 2 sequels to it. So, but it was a big breakout for African American movies to be made just about African American people or African American stories and lives, and did well at the box office.
Yeah.
Comedies especially.
There you are. Well, Matthew Perry, 54, we already talked about him earlier. Emmy nominated Friends actor. Easy for me to say. And let's see, who else we got here? Get in here. Norman Lear, 101. Did All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Maude, all those great... what would you say they were? Society threatening?
Well, yeah, but here's a great story, and it's told well. It was written up in a couple of magazines in New York. Norman Lear was just a remarkable playwright, and he gained fame writing plays for Broadway, won several Tonys. So he would have these parties at his home. And everybody in New York, there was anybody, would come to his parties. What they didn't know is he'd set up a microphone system throughout his, 30-room apartment that people would come to record conversations people would be having at his parties. And he later in life admitted that when he had run back and listened to these conversations, it gave him ideas for the plays that he wrote for Broadway.
Yeah,
now that I love. That's a good story.
Yeah,
it's not like Shakespeare had to think about it himself. I don't think he was standing in the throne room when he was writing about kings and queens.
Yeah. Well, All in the Family certainly was a.
Barn burner.
Yeah, it was a change in society. They said things on TV that you couldn't say today, Shane. You couldn't say
That's
the
right.
things in All in the Family. Talking about. Well, I can't mention them here even.
Well, and the amazing thing too is bringing in black actors for his TV shows. Like actors, actresses, and he was a remarkable individual. And. Yeah, religious faith, Jewish, by the way.
Yeah. Well, Ryan O'Neal, 82. He was a soap opera guy, Oscar-nominated role in Love Story. His daughter, Tatum, was at that time, I guess, the youngest Oscar winner. Paper
That's
Moon.
Right.
I think somebody younger has won it since then.
Well, Shirley Temple was given one, but love means never having to say you're sorry.
There you go. That's the love story. Amen. All right. And we'll finish up with Tom Smothers, 86, one half of the Smothers Brother comedy duo. His brother Dick Smothers. They also changed TV. They had a lot of things that the censors were very questionable about. The war at the time in Vietnam, marijuana, a lot of cultural things that made the censors at CBS a little nervous, Shane.
Yeah, and the great thing is their producers figured this out, that they could do it as part of a musical rift, and then throw something in that was highly dangerous on the part of the FCC for, like you said, things that. But then every time the FCC would go to ABC, they'd say First Amendment. It's like they had it figured out. It was good.
Yeah. Dominic from our text line, Shane 478-8298. Dominic, forgot about him. Actually, wish he was still on every once in a while. A little crazy at times. Can't believe they gave him the job over you. Well, I can't either. In fact, we got a full year of him, or a full year, Shane and I did, of the morning show afterwards. We started the day after Thanksgiving when he passed away, and we were on until the following April, when COVID kicked us off the air. But during that year, we were the number one show in 25 to 54, all demographics. We even beat out XL Country over here.
That's right. Across the network, 28 stations.
Yeah, we were the number one show in the 16 market. So we were really upset when we got relieved, I guess. And then, of course, it became a money issue because Aaron doesn't cost him anything. So
Yeah, that's right.
there we are. So, all right, we still got a full half hour to go, Shane. 30 full minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
I enjoy my time with you. You're a special person.
Amen.
Happy New Year.
I enjoy my time with you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this segment. When we come back, we've got to talk about the misconceptions of the economy when we come back. So a lot of you are misinformed about the economy. So we're going to straighten it out for you. So all of that and more on the way. So don't go away. We'll be right back. And the happiest of New Year's to everybody out there. It's 27 minutes before the top of the hour, and it's Saturday. It's December 30th, 2023. It's a happy New Year weekend with Tom and Shane. Shane Montalban, half man, half amazing. In Kamloops, Canada, Tommy Gullip, your morning mayor in the house. And, well, Shane, we've had a Democrat stronghold city in Montana that's flipped Republican.
Oh, my goodness. Great Falls.
Yeah, Great Falls. Each time Democrat John Tester won his hard-fought U.S. Senate race in Montana, he celebrated the victory at election night parties in Great Falls. But as Tester goes for a fourth consecutive Senate win, the city that's been his political backyard, he lives about an hour north of there, and once Democratic stronghold has gone 100% Republican. Republicans wiped out the city's last remaining Democrat state lawmakers in the 2022 election and now control all 12 legislative seats representing Great Falls and Cascade County. The GOP also completed a takeover of the Cascade County Commission when Republican Ray Gulkowski easily ousted incumbent Commissioner Don Ryan, a well-known Democrat. So there we are, Shane. The beautiful folks of Great Falls are now bright red.
Well, I think after 18 years, he's sort of worn out his welcome in the Senate, and the reason I say that is because Montana's created some really great statesmen in the Senate class.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the opportunity to have a huge legacy, and he didn't want to.
He blew it, yeah.
Yeah, his one vote could have changed everything in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And he could have had a huge legacy because of it, but no, he just wanted to have that breakfast and lunch free.
Yeah, there we are. Well, regarding New Year's resolution, there's a suggestion for me, Shane.
Okay.
Bleach a blonde tuft of hair on your head.
I already have white hair. I don't need to bleach it.
No, me.
I know, but I'm just saying in my case, not yours.
Okay. Yeah, that was weird when we lost you and acquired Aaron Flint for 4 hours. Yeah, it was weird for us too. So.
That was weird. I like it. Weird is a very amazing word because it can be defined so many different ways.
Well, and it also violates... what is it? I before C except after E or something like that.
Yeah, and that FCC list.
Yeah. Getting kind of depressed being reminded how short my string is, fellas. At least Treat William died doing what he loved. That's for sure. That's so true. I don't know. People probably think I want to die hanging onto this microphone, and I actually don't. I just die with friends and loved ones. So.
Well, yeah, and that's absolutely true. One of the things I've been there, so I'm not at all fearful where I'm going to spend eternity.
Yeah, so I don't know. Smothers Brothers today would be called Woke and Banned. Dominic, wish I could forget about him. I guess he killed himself and saved us more torture. No, he died of natural causes, I'm afraid. Effective inflation lasts forever, but the economy is booming. Will take time for wages to come up on prices, but it is happening. Well, lucky for you that we're going to do one story, and then we're going to straighten you out on the economy and what's happening there. So, But we've got to talk about the three major cable news networks suffered from poor ratings, Shane, throughout 2023, breaking records in some areas, according to new data. So, yeah.
Well, one of the interesting things about it is, if you dig down on it, what you discover is they used to take a hit in social media as meaning, they would, anybody that would come to their site, right, that would count. Then all of a sudden they made this determination here this last year that it doesn't count if they don't stay on the site for, are you ready for this, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, 30 seconds happens to be quite a while.
It is a while. Yeah.
In the 21st century of social network.
Yeah.
But the ratings are down because, like, if I'm watching Fox News and some commentator comes on and there's a number of them I don't want to listen, I just click to BBC or CNBC. Yeah, I click to somewhere else because there's people I just don't want to listen to.
Yeah. Well,
so every click is unless it's 30 seconds now, doesn't matter.
Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC were only aired in about 70 million households in the U.S. Throughout 2023, dropping from 90 million in 2016. 20 million down, Shane, of households watching.
Well, the analysts are also claiming that they're moving to streaming. I don't believe that. And here's an example. Do you ever notice that ads are on at the same time on every network that you're watching? Have you ever done that?
Well, sure.
Where an ad comes on and you click to another channel, ad, click to another channel, ad. I mean, they synchronize the advertising. I don't know why, but again, that's sort of dopey.
Well, they want to... The demographics say the most people are listening at that moment, so that's why the ad comes on at that time. CNN witnessed an all-time record low in the 25 to 54 demographic and had its lowest number in total viewers since 2014.
Ouch.
It topped MSNBC in a 25-54 demo for the fourth year in a row in primetime and for the 10th consecutive year in total daytime viewership. MSNBC had its lowest rated year in the 25 to 54 demo since 1999. Fox News.
You remember, an individual started CNN and he was out of Georgia, and he had a radio. He inherited a radio station and turned it into this, CNN, global news, and everyone said it'd be a failure. And then what happened? Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, and bam,
there it was.
CNN was there forever.
Yep, that was it. Yeah, it was the go-to news. Ted Turner.
That's right.
TNT,
right.
Ted Turner Network.
Married your favorite gal there in Montana.
Yeah. Fox News reached its lowest views since 2015, dropping from 1.49 million to 1.2 million viewers, an 18% drop in year-over-year viewership. The network suffered a loss in ratings after it parted ways with Tucker Carlson in April. CNN suffered a 15% drop from the previous year, averaging 482,000 total day viewers in 2023, and the network averaged 586,000 average viewers in 2022. MSNBC rose 5% in the ratings for the previous year by totaling 87,000 views in the total day. They're doing really well, though.
Well, the amazing thing about Tucker, there's so much behind why they got rid of him, the lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. But the amazing thing about Tucker is he goes to another platform, and he gets Trump to do this interview with him, and it becomes like 50 million people watched it. Like it was just a huge success. Yeah. And then ever since then, it's been Tucker for VP, Tucker for VP. Like it's quite the irony of social networking in the 21st century is amazing. It's really it's watchable.
Well, it is, yeah. Moving on to misconceptions about the economy. There was virtual certainty among economists at the end of last year that 2023 would see a recession. Shane and I both thought they would. The debate was whether that recession would be short-lived or relatively superficial or long and serious, entailing a serious spike in unemployment. The incorrect forecasting was based on the assumption that taking interest rates higher would directly slow the economy, tanking markets and causing workers to be fired. The economic downturns, along with the aggressive monetary tightening and geopolitical and commodity shocks that induce them, will be temporary, painful in financial and emerging markets. But the Fed's program of tightening led neither to mass unemployment nor a stock market dive. On the contrary, gross domestic product surged at 4.9% quarterly increase during the third quarter, and the most Dow Jones Industrial Average of major U.S. stocks lost from its November 22 level was about 7% in March of this year. So Dow's risen 9.5%, Shane.
Yeah, but it's not real. Look,
Yeah.
MPOV, my point of view. Both countries, we've been in a recession since at least February of last year. This will be the fifth one I've seen since 72. Before that, it was depressions. Now it's recessions. They always have three issues: worse than the one before, caused for a different reason, and last different lengths of time. This is not a recession of any norms that people are trying to claim. It not in a recession. This is a recession of new reasons why, and I principally put it on the basis of the measurement of stocks and earnings per share crash, and that's what it was. You can't have 20% of the stocks of 2,200 public companies in your country. That's 440 stocks of 2,200, causing the exchanges to all rise. Like the Magnificent Seven. What a name to give seven stocks that have given rise for the S&P and the NASDAQ. The Dow is its 30. Again, two or three major stocks have held and moved and lifted the value of that exchange. So we'll see where we go and how bad this recession gets. But remember, these people are all backing Biden, Tom.
Yeah.
They don't want a bad risk. They don't want a bad economy.
Yeah. I know you like Aaron, but I hate his show. Turn off the radio when he comes on. That's gay. Okay. Well, Aaron's been kind enough to let us fill in for him from time to time. Not recently, but we're still available if he wants us to come over there. So I think it's a thing they have to trade for someplace for me to stay is the issue. So it's easier to get local people to come in there and work for them.
Someone that lives there.
Yeah. Well, unemployment needs to go down for inflation to go down. Or unemployment needs to go up for inflation to go down. Sorry, got it backwards there. Economists have long correlated inflation and unemployment in part because unemployment or employment costs are the major portion of overhead paid by companies. In the third quarter this year, employment compensation was about 58% of real prices. Input costs were about 26% and profits about 16%. So to stop rising prices, many economists believe the Fed needed to put the squeeze on workers' paychecks with higher interest rates. Then consumer demand and overhead costs would fall and prices along with them, or so the conventional thinking went. Wow. But 2023 unbuckled a correlation between the unemployment and inflation. Headline inflation, as measured in the Consumer Price Index, fell from 6.3% annual increase in January off of last year's nearly 9%, just 3.1% in November. So one of the things about we're going to talk about wages in just a moment, but payroll is your highest cost, Shane.
That's right. Well, first of all, look, you've been near or at full employment. Every economist, every bobblehead agrees 3% since Biden became president. So between 3 and 4.2% has been your unemployment. Now, what's the problem is 25 million people have been allowed in. 25 million people in 4 years. I mean, that's a staggering number. I mean, it took 30 years for that many, 20 million to get in before Reagan stopped it. Anyway, so you're not going to have an increase in unemployment because there's just too many people to be employed. You're not going to have an increase in salaries because there's too many people to be employed cheaply. So that's why this recession will make a determination of how long and hard it lasts, as opposed to a soft landing or we're not in one. It's one of these things we'll be faced with, and everyone that has a job should be happy. And if you're living to work, you're happiest of all.
Yeah. Well, another misconception, wages aren't rising for the lowest paid workers. Amid so much concern over the magnitude and trajectory of inflation, average hourly earnings of all U.S. have actually kept pace with rising prices since the pandemic started in 2020. In fact, earnings have risen 19.4% since February 2020, slightly outpacing the increase of the Consumer Price Index of 18.8%. Over the same period, lower wage workers have seen a greater share of those gains, contributing to a shrinking of income inequality, which is a myth in the United States.
That's right.
So hospitality and leisure industry staff, who are some of the lowest paid workers in the economy, have seen their wages rise 27% over the same period. And one of the reasons for that, Shane, is that 22 states are going to raise their minimum wage coming up in January.
Right, and that won't do anything for employment or for people individually at the lower end of the scale of wages. But it will automatically kick in and increase inflation. That's what happens. You raise wages and inflation will go up. It's bad or good. That's just what will happen.
Yeah. Rising markets, low employment will make people feel good. Well, that's another misconception. Despite solid economic performance data and a lot of salesmanship from the Biden administration, Americans have still felt gloomy about the economy, a disconnect lamented and puzzled over by many financial commentators. A December poll from Bankrate found that most Americans think the economy is currently experiencing a downturn, with majorities of those earning under $50,000 annually and those making more than $100,000 a year saying they felt like the economy is in a recession. And we reported before that between this year and last year, the average American family has to spend $11,400 more this year in 2023 than they did in 2022 to maintain the same lifestyle.
So there you go. The Eagle Man gives you the numbers, and they appear contradicting themselves, but they aren't. They're just, how are they explained to you by the media? And again, the media wants Biden elected, so they're going to come up with a good story, not a sad story.
Yeah. Well, Democrats and liberal economists have argued that inflation during the past year was caused primarily by supply-side disruptions, while Republicans and conservative economists have blamed inflation on higher demand boosted by trillions of dollars in pandemic stimulus. Other economists have said the blame should fall mostly with the corporations who took the opportunity of consumers being flush with cash to raise their prices and boost their profit margins. The Ukraine war's effect on energy prices and further variants of the coronavirus that extended the pandemic in 2021 were also fingered as culprits. So all these factors contributed to varying degrees to the inflation that took off internationally starting in 2021 and lasted into this year. Holding up any single cause as the lone perpetrator ignores the dynamics toward governments and the private sector that underlie the economy and the international price system, which Shane and I have been preaching for months.
Well, the thing about that article that doesn't say it, what causes it, was we knew from the beginning, you and I, day one with Biden, shutting down the oil industry. So that's something everyone uses every day. And the ultimate result of that was it started the price of gas to go up. The minute the price of gas goes up, then everything, that you go out to consume goes up as well. Because the people delivering it, 80% of everything you buy, delivered by a diesel 18-wheel truck, is going to cost more because the price of diesel went up more than the price of gasoline percentage-wise. So these are the things that push it and cause it, but they don't explain that. Then the impact it has on everything else to make it worse comes along. And then you have these brilliant guys like the Fed saying, oh, gee, inflation is, well, basic inflation, as they like to call it, right? It's 5-6%, but it was double digits, and it still is.
Yeah. I wonder what effect it would have on your listeners to spend as much time discussing our military heroes as you do those entertainers. Well, I'll be happy to discuss heroes. Eisenhower, Montgomery, MacArthur, Patton, Sergeant York, Audie Murphy.
Right. That's right. The great general that divided the South and won the Civil War. I mean,
Robert E.
Grant,
Lee,
who became president.
There we go.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
General Jackson.
Yeah. There it is.
And we've talked about all of them.
Yeah.
We have. Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Well,
here we go.
Legal marijuana. Where will it be in 2024? So, Idaho, Nebraska, and Kansas have no public program at all. And of course, we have medical marijuana in Montana. There's no public program in Idaho next to us, and Wyoming has a CBC law and THC law, and North and South Dakota, they have some form of medical marijuana there as well. So I don't know, Shane.
Well, it started 5 years ago with our new prime minister, and within a year being in office, he lightened the laws, legalized the laws, and then he allowed it to be sold. Now, the government was going to sell as well, but of course, we talked about it 4 years ago. It literally took, if you remember, in BC, 2 years for them to license someone to finally sell pot. Once there was like a dozen people independent of the government, licensed, the government opened up their own shops. Now, guess who's making the money? The government, because they can undercut everybody, and you can go down. I mean, I have a mall that I walk down to, 4 times a week, every other day, just for the walk and to buy stuff. But there's a BC pot shop in there, and you can go in and get one of those puffers, that you can puff on, and they got 24 flavors, from bubble gum to honey to pink spirit. It's crazy.
Well, Ohio, it was only Ohio that successfully legalized the recreational use of marijuana this year. In November, voters approved a citizen initiative statute to allow Ohioans 21 years or older to possess up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis and up to 15 grams of cannabis extract. They can keep up to 6 plants, 6 cannabis plants, or up to 12 if there are 2 adults at least 21 years old in the household. So you can have 5 or 6 kids, I guess, but as long as you can have 12 plants in there. So, Ohio, already one of the more than a dozen states to have legalized medical cannabis, became the 24th state to legalize recreational marijuana. Say goodbye, Shane.
I will indeed. Happy New Year. Best friends forever. Thank you, Thomas. Be happy, be safe, everyone. Live in the moment you did on Christmas Day so you can do it every day of the year. Be happy in the work that you live. well and live to work so you do even better, especially with the way things are. Have a great day, Thomas. Happy New Year, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks so much for being here. All right. All right, my thanks go out to all our listeners, all our texters who supported us all year. We really appreciate that so much because this is a labor of love for us. We're here because we believe Bozeman deserves at least one day of talk radio where people can voice their opinions and, we can agree to disagree on all sorts of things. So Happy New Year to everybody out there, and I am out of here.